Morning, anglers. I'm Captain KCP, driving to the site where my boat is parked. It's going to be a double dip, 2-session video today. First, I'm going to talk about the baits that I just picked up at Bass Pro after Christmas. This is what I use mostly for my collection. Sorry for the bounciness of the video. I'm driving right now, so bear with me on that. I'm going to go over on a couple things that I use. I would say maybe my top 10 or even more than that. I'm just going to touch base on what I just purchased a few days ago. So I'll make this video a little bit short and sweet. Go from there. So the first item up the bid is the good old Whopper Popper, or the Whomper, whatever you want to call it. There's actually probably 6 or 7 different lines out there that you can buy from different various bait makers. So whatever you choose, or whatever fits your fancy or price range. I know they're up in the price range of maybe $7 to $15. Even I've seen them all the way up to $26, depending on what size you buy. I bought the Chomper 105, so it could be the same thing as a Whopper Popper 130 or so. Bought it in a shad color. If you can see that, there you go. That's a little bit better picture for that. I've had success on ones that I bought from Amazon. They were a little bit smaller and not too durable. I broke 2 off already, and I lost one just on snagging. The snag part was my fault. But I have had success once I went ahead and replaced them. So I wanted to try the shad color this year, so throw that to the side. The next thing I use that I found out at 1 pound was real good was the Gulp Minnow Shad Emerald with a drop shot finesse rig setup with the offset hook. For anything you could use it for, drop shot, Cinco. I also paired it up with the 1/8 ounce finesse drop shot weight. So that's a good setup there. I use that on light tackle just because. Throw that to the side. That's enough of that. I've also used leeches too with that setup too. So that pond that I go to, leeches are actually, they have snails in that pond. So when the snails come out and look for a different shell, or they just come out for their season, the bass feed on that. So leeches look like snails when they come swimming around. So the little minnow and the leech on a drop shot setup, tie the leader off at 12 inches, have the hook set up about 12 inches from the bottom. Just drag slow on the bottom, jig it a couple times, and I'm hooked up on a fish. That's enough of that one. Next one is a deep diver. This one here is the Bass Pro Shop XPS. Like I said, Bass Pro Shop is my Christmas box where I get items from them. I've also had good luck with Bass's selection. I just don't like their color schemes and what they put out there. Plus, they're inexpensive. They run around, they're put that one aside. They're between anywhere from $3 all the way up to $6. Like I said, all this stuff that I purchase is on a budget. I'm a budget kind of guy, because once you start buying multiples, and I do buy multiples when I do stock up on my selection. When I say multiples, actually 2 to 3, so it gets pricey. So if I pick up one lure at $5, I'm buying 3 of them, so there's $15 right there. So the selection that I'm going to show you today is about $60 worth, maybe $75 total. Doesn't look like a lot, so I just went through 4 or 5 different lures that I've thrown on top of my dashboard that I've talked about what I use. Also picked up the Z-Man chatterbait I got this one in a bluegill flake shad color, half-ounce style. Now there's several different chatterbaits out there, and I just can't see myself spending, you know, $10, $15 on a chatterbait. They might be supreme, I don't know, but I've had success on this. If you're on a budget, you could buy these at Walmart too for, I think, around $5. I think this one was $5.99 at Bass Pro Shop. So that was one of them. The other one was a straight up shad color or white color. Both are 3/8 of an ounce. So you can throw that around. You can put a trailer on that, no problem. Can't really see it out of the package, but that's that. And when I talk about trailers, everybody's like, well, can I put a screw cork on there, or could I put a grub, or could I put a creature bait? You could do anything you want to try to strike. Now I'm going to pair the bluegill color with the power bait paddle tail bluegill special right there. Another thing right here, I'm a Berkley guy, so I saw the Berkley ones. I'm going to pair that up with that. So there's 8 of them in there, so I should have plenty of time to be on the water with that one. So that's that with that. So then I go with the white one for the white chatterbait, another padded tail situation. And then what else I did was I've seen a lot of people use underspins. So I picked up a couple underspins, and now you could put that on a creature bait, or you could put that on a paddle tail, or even a fluke, or even a rubber plastic worm with some kind of tail, or anything you want to do with that. I haven't worked too much on underspins, but I've seen people with a lot of success on other channels talk about underspins. So this will be my first year with the underspin. I got one straight up white, and I got another one basically the shad color right there. I don't know if you can see that. There you go. That's a little bit better. So I got basically 2-in-1 with the chatterbait. I could put the paddle tail for the trailer. Then I've been fishing these, the rattle traps from Bass Pro Shop, for multiple years, and I've had real good success. You could do a fast retrieve, a slow retrieve, medium retrieve, and it just I've had a lot of success on it. So when I do see what the colors I like, I got just a straight up bluegill type one. Then I got the one with the same color bluegill. Let's see if it comes around, with the bleeding gills. So when I go there, this is the first thing I actually pick up before I start wasting my money at Bass Pro Shop. I want to definitely get those because I'm always snagging something, ripping it out on tree limbs or the bottom, or just lose one because the fish took it, and I had a bad kink in my line, and I didn't check it, and I slinging out there across the lake and popped the line. So with that being said, I got all that back there around 60 to 70 bucks. So I feel comfortable that I've replenished my stock. So I'm going to go ahead and give you a little more insight as the year goes on, what else I throw. I throw Carolina rig, I throw Texas rig, drop shot, crankbaits, spinners, which I don't have my bag. That was just the bag that I had in my truck that I wanted to show you that I picked up a couple days ago. Like I said, I was going to show you what I use, and maybe you guys could say, well, I use that, or I don't use that. I'm going to try it. I got a couple extra bucks, throw it your way, and throw it Bass's way, or even find a knockoff at Walmart or your local dealerships for your tackle, and go from there. I enjoy going to different locations of ponds and trying to figure out what the fish are attracted to. With certain lakes or ponds that I do go to, I don't focus much on shad colors. I mostly focus on basically bluegill colored, and I'm only hitting probably the tip of the iceberg, you know, changing up the colors. So this year I'm going to be more focused on throwing shad colors and see what the hit ratio is versus a bluegill colored type of skirt or creature baits or hard baits versus a shad color, if there's any shad or any bait fish that represents the colors that I'm throwing. I'm also going to look into buying some scent covering for, I've heard, you know, people put scents on their baits, the hard plastic or jigs or skirts or their plastic worms. Like I said, I'm a Berkley guy. You could be, you know, a Zoom guy, a Yum guy, a Zoom, anything like that. So, like I said, once again, I'm driving, so I'm looking over my shoulder while I'm driving. And I'm going to go try Berkley. It's a $6 can for 8-ounce spray. I'm going to knock it down to a smaller bottle so I can put that in my tool bag. So I'm just going to keep a little 3-ounce bottle that I could probably pick up at a drugstore or Walmart, so I don't waste the whole container if it spills in my bag or it cracks or whatever. At least I'll only spill in a couple ounces. I've read a lot of reviews. There's probably over maybe 100 to 200 reviews on it. Some people say it sucks. Some people said every time I go out, I'll never leave home without it. So I'm just going to try it from there and see if it increases my strikes. I've never used it before, so I'm going to be a test dummy myself. I'm going to try 1 or 2 lures tied up on 2 different poles, one with a scent block on there and one without, and see what the strike ratio is, if it makes a difference. I'm going to try to maybe limit it, how many times I sprayed on there, if it, you know, overpowers the pond or lake, or it saturates the area that I'm throwing in, and go from there. Like I said, this is going to be a double feature video today. I'm on my way down to the yard where I store my boat on my sister's husband's property. It's a little bit of a hike, so I'm about halfway there. So I decided to make a video in the morning. This video will be out in the afternoon after I try to edit, and I'm still working on finding the flaws, but usually I just do the lazy thing and upload it and without editing. So once I get down to the boat, I'm going to make a second video and show what I'm going to do to the boat. I just want to take a look at it. We're coming down now into the winter months, and I want to protect the boat a little bit more before it gets more wrecked or destroyed than what it is already a little bit. I'm putting a lot of work into it. So we'll check that out. I'll make another video. I'll go through that. It's going to be more intense than the other videos that I have previous on the my YouTube channel. I've already explained a couple things that I've used. So that's, I would say right there is probably maybe 30% of what my bag is of the items that I have in my tackle bag. Other than miscellaneous jigs or jigs with skirts or nylon skirts or just regular jigs for walleye. I'm mostly a bass fisherman. I've always have been a bass fisherman. The only time I go ahead and do anything for walleye, perch, or crappie is when I go to my dad's up in Minocqua. Then we focus on having a fish fry, so that's always a nice time. With that being said, I don't know what you guys are looking for out of these videos, and if you want to subscribe and hit the like button, most definitely do that for me. It helps me out. I want to be in contact with the average angler or the extreme angler and say, let's, you know, collaborate and think about, hey, let's try this. Have you tried that? No, I haven't tried that. You know, I'm always learning. If I don't learn something every time I go out on the water, then I feel that it's unsuccessful. Even though I've caught fish that day. It could just be that the fish are hungry that day. I would like to go out there on days where I know I'm going to get skunked and still pull out one or two and enjoy the day. My skunk ratio, the hit up ratio, I would say I've been pretty good. I hit ponds that I know that I'm going to be catching fish that day. Nothing to write home to, nothing, you know, screaming out 10-pound fish or 7-pound fish or 8-pound fish, but just enjoy the day where I could get up at, when the season's in season, I could get up at 5 o'clock in the morning, see the sunrise come up, and hit a couple fish and call it a day at, you know, 9:30, 10 o'clock, and go home and enjoy the rest of the day with my family. So with that being said, I'm going to leave you out with that. I'm almost to the yard to go look at my boat, so it'll be a double feature today. I'm going to throw this one on the channel. Hit the like and subscribe button. Stay tuned for videos upcoming about more tackle that I have in my bag. I'll be prepared next time we have another video. The second feature will be coming up here shortly once I get down to the boat, and we'll see you in a bit. Have a good day.